Just a week away from the halfway marker, the Integrity Racing League returns to one of its best-known sites on the schedule. A 2.5-mile circuit shaped unlike any other. We've been to Daytona already. Soon we'll have our sights set on the Brickyard, but there's nothing quite like the Tricky Triangle in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Welcome back to the 14th race of the 2026 Integrity Racing League season. This is the Pennsylvania 200. A race held at the one and only Pocono Raceway. Championship tides have not turned all season long. Ethan Lane has been the front man of the series and went back to victory lane before our little vacation, but James Thurston has racked up 3 of the last 5 wins and finds himself as perhaps the second best in a star-studded field. Welcome back to June Racing and the summer stretch on Tuesday nights. I'll be your host for tonight's coverage. I am David Kreutz, commentating and producing as we say hello to the green flag in less than 10 minutes time. Qualifying is on the move from the virtual Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Sam Nieto finds himself at the top of the board, but there are once again many a heavy hitter who have not yet set a time. James Thurston has already gone third in the number 3 Power Smash machine. He is one of the 23 so far that have taken a lap. Thurston holds his own in that spot. It now becomes 25 as Michael Ponder and Eli Cars have crossed the start-finish line. Ethan Lane is perhaps the biggest notable that has not yet taken a lap. His final run down through turn 3 and into the front stretch just concluded, and that time by for Lane, it's just a warm-up lap. He's got a minute remaining. Don Stevenson yet to set a time. Driver number 47 crosses the start-finish, and for him, nothing on the board. John DeBarro is making his way through turn 2. He's got less than a minute remaining, but should have enough time to put a lap down. All eyes are on Sam Nieto, the one man that no driver has gotten to beat. Thurston does not look like its final lap is quick enough to make things work out. He will bottle it down to the inside of the racing circuit and back off. Lane will come across the stripe with about 15 seconds to go. If anyone's going to shake up the qualifying lineup, it's most likely this man right here. He'll race out of that third turn, make his way down the Long Pond front stretch. It's a 53.984. That's good for second. Sam Nieto will hold on. Lane gets up to the front row, but it won't be enough to beat driver number 2. Sam Nieto will grab the pole position as we return to racing, and a strong start for driver number 2. Nieto, a driver that needs it, 9th in the point standings, and he will collect his first pole position of the season. 5 minutes left on the clock, and the leading man, Sam Nieto, when we say hello to the green flag and 80 laps of action. Practice is now on its way for the final time. Got a few new drivers that are making their way onto the circuit, or some drivers we haven't seen so far this season. So we'll take note of a few of those guys here. They're on the racing circuit. If not, we will be sure to talk about them as the night goes on. Here is one of them, the number 71 of Michael Ponder. Ponder making his first start of the season in the 71 Havoline Chevrolet. He is among a multitude of rookies that are making their first start on the season. So good to have some new drivers wrapping up the 37-car field that is led today by 2 of the big veterans. Ponder's on the racing track. Michael Durham, not a full rookie to the Integrity Racing League if you go through the years, but he is making a start, his first of the season. A few others, we'll talk about them right now as drivers are on their way, getting their practice laps in. But the qualifying lineup has been fully set, and at the front of that lineup is the man that we mentioned beforehand, the driver that takes the first of all positions, the pole position. Sam Nieto, driver number 2, inside of row number 1. He takes it up to the overall best spot on the lineup. Sam Nieto First place, 53.941. He's got the pole position, and on his outside is the number 84 of Ethan Lane. Lane goes second by 43/1,000ths of a second. Ethan Lane, runner-up man, driver number 84. He doesn't grab the pole. Sam grabs his first. It's going to be Zach Shrinton all P3, James Thurston P4, and Jacob Fife wrapping up the top 5. Don Stevenson goes 6th place, and they wrap up the front 3 rows. Next from there to end the top 10, you'll have Brant McClendon 7th, Nolan Potter 8th, Nick Tarbuck 9th, and DJ Stagner wrapping up the top 10. He's the last in the top 10 with the 54.183 second lap. Cody Smith is 11th, and Eric McFarland goes 12th. 13th place is John DeBarro with Brock Potter 14th. Trevor Trago then goes 15th with Ryan Potter P16. 17th, Ryan Bean and Michael Durham. First start of the season for driver number 60. Michael goes P18. 19th and 20th, Matthew Cornell, Alex Kim with Bobby Keith, Robert Richardson, Nicholas Ward, Kevin Matz, and Trenton Johns, the rookie, 25th. To end the top 30, you'll have Sean Kalis, Josh Gallagher, newcomer Jackson Branscombe, David Davis, and Eli Carr is in P30. 31st place is Michael Ponder. 32nd is Brad Patton. Patton is the first driver not to take a time. 33rd is Aaron Eads. 34th, Joe Yakes. 35th, Randy Fiash with Kent Wetherell. 36th, and last and alone in 37th place is Austin Cardules in the number 31. 37 drivers and 19 rows encapsulate the field from front to back. It's time just about to figure out who has the best stuff at the Pocono Raceway. 80 laps, 200 miles are ahead of us, and the field is now just about a minute away from hitting the starting formation. 2.5 mile racing circuit. Let's talk a little bit about the track that we have ahead of us tonight. Track temperatures at a blistering 114 degrees with winds that are mild for the time being. They won't matter all too much. Track wear is moderate, not a big issue for now anyway. It doesn't look like that's going to be a problem. But what's interesting about it is, with that being said, a few other conditions to come in mind. Ambient temperature is only going to get warmer, and the wind might get a little bit stronger, up to 8 miles an hour southeast bound. Humidity is not an issue, but the track temp exceeding 115 degrees could really give these guys troubles. This is one of the fastest tracks on the Integrity Circuit. We look overhead from the virtual Pocono Raceway right now, and you can see this is a big track with a front straightaway longer than a mile in length when you go from corner to corner, and the rest of it high-speed sweeping turns. 37 drivers on this track is more than enough room per driver, but things get competitive. It won't be easy to separate the best from the rest. Qualifying's over. Practice has come to pass, and it's about time now. The field lines up for the big show. 200 miles, 80 laps. Pace lap will be underway momentarily as drivers take to their next-gen stock cars. 14th race of the season for these guys. It's been a long haul so far, dominated by one man in Ethan Lane, and slowly but surely supported by a second in James Thurston. Otherwise, victories have been difficult to come by for anyone. Ethan Lane now has 9 wins. Thurston has 2. 2 individual wins have been scattered across the rest of the field. Nolan Potter able to steal one. Blake Cannon as well. Everyone else has been left by the wayside. Victory is not easy to accomplish. And right now, your winningest drivers of the season are 2nd and 4th, respectively. Ethan Lane with the bulk share, just missing the pole position. Sam Nieto, with his best qualifying run of the season, is able to avoid all the trouble that may be behind him tonight, and he'll begin up in front. Few drivers taking end-of-line penalties: Yakes, Branscombe, and Brock Potter, just to name a few. Strategy is very likely going to come in the form of a 50-50 split. 40 laps apiece drivers can go if we go green. Otherwise, yellow flags will dictate who goes where and when. Up top is the Ethan Lane machine. Driver number 84 set to go for what would be his 10th win in 14 races. The fastest winning pace that Lane has had in any season of his Integrity Racing League career. His record, 2024. He is looking to go out there and smash the 15-win barrier, maybe even go for 20. Right now, he's on pace for a 20-win season, a remarkable achievement. He's actually a little bit above that pace right now. If he wins today, he would be looking for about 20 and a half on the season, which could translate to up to 21. Won almost half the races on the year, and we have only run about half the season. Sam Nieto eyeing a big opportunity, get himself up in the points. He's in the single digits points-wise right now, a safe spot for the final races of the championship hunt. But it is Nick Tarbuck who is second in the championship now over Nicholas Ward. Ward moves back up to third. His season high was the championship lead for just a week in the early winter months. Tarbuck today, driver number 4, lines up 9th. Ward in the 97 lines up 23rd. We'll keep an eye on that championship battle, but of course, an eye on the victor. Who will it be tonight? Of 37 drivers, we'll find out in 80 laps time. Welcome back to Long Pond, Pennsylvania, where green, one of the fastest circuits in the country and the fastest triangle in the world, the Pocono Raceway, welcomes Integrity for race number 14. Trouble, contact, and it looks like it will be a caution. First yellow flag of the day is thrown for a big wreck at the backside of the field. 19 machine around of Trenton Johns, among many others. We'll pull the tape back. You'll see what happens. Johns in the 19. He's here among the mid-pack. This incident happening around 20th to 30th. Taking quite a few drivers out in a big track blocker. The drivers headed down into the tunnel turn. Nicholas Ward was the first to collect contact. It looks like he saved it. And as he did, the wreck was in front of him. So, pause the tape right there. It begins with a driver like Robert Richardson. Ward with a big save. That's going to save him a lot. Look at this pack. Robert Richardson was in the mix. And also, you have Michael Durham here, who it looks like catches some contact into 2. Durham has Alex Kim right there. Kim slightly wiggles up, gets into Durham, and ricochets into the outside wall. Durham makes contact with Robert Richardson and Trevor Trago, and everyone else gets collected from here. Richardson perhaps getting away a little bit better. Michael Durham did. And you can see here, driver number 5 in the mist as Eli Cars comes through. 97 of Ward has to navigate through that wreck. Kevin Matt slows down fully, and the caution is out. Nicholas Ward is perhaps the first of these guys to feel the pain. He will escape. Riding on board with Nicholas Ward, we are about a lap and a half away from going green. We'll go right back to the live feed after this. First comes the slide. And Ward doing a great job holding it together. Then watch this, the wreck right ahead. Backs it down immediately. Ward runs 10th after qualifying 23rd, which, given his championship spot, a paltry effort, but very quickly, he finds his way up and is the first driver outside of the top 20 in qualifying to make it into the top 15. Ethan Lane leading him with about a lap and a half until we set things off again. Ethan Lane, Sam Nieto, Zach Schrintenol, DJ Stagner, and James Thurston is the top 5. Most of these guys were together when it all got started, except seeing a little bit more out of this one in James Thurston. Or rather, DJ Stagner. Thurston drops back one, but he was in the fight with Stagner, who's now already gone from P10 up in a 4th. Stagner's a great driver at Pocono in the Highline Racing League, able to come through with a 3rd to 1st effort in one of the final laps of his last start at this track. He's been here before with the Integrity Ignite Series as they've raced at this venue as well. He is experienced in the scenarios that come up at Poconos, particularly with saving equipment and pushing when it counts. DJ will start on the outside of the 2nd row. Ethan Lane on the inside takes control. Previously, of course, it was Sam Nieto who had the head of the field. Lane already able to take that right back. Robert Richardson starting with the headlining drivers, and it appears he is just on lead lap. Will he be given the wave around? It looks like no. We'll see what happens here. Eli Carr is an early retiree of this race. Trevor Trago still with us. He is 1 lap down. Yakes and Brock Potter, the last of drivers to be given an end-of-line penalty, but we talked about that at the beginning of the race. So not sure what they're going to do with Robert Richardson, who is a lap driver, in essence, starting right with the leaders. He's going to be alongside number 2 is Sam Nieto. Nieto might just get the better start since he's got the fully free outside lane. We'll go green at lap number 5 with just over 75 laps remaining. Richardson decides to pull himself all the way down to the inside. He will let the leaders go. Ethan Lane gets the start, and penalties will presumably be cleared as Lane is going to get that inside, and Richardson will bow out as he's clearly damaged. Robert Richardson is going to fall a little bit further behind, but this will shuffle up the field regardless. Brand McClendon already diving in side by side against Sam Nieto, and Schrintenol, who followed Lane on the jump, is able to get himself up to the catbird seat. Ryan Potter, driver number 6 right now on the pylon, is giving us another good race. Might remember 2 weeks ago before we left for our little break, Ryan Potter was having himself a great night before a late race incident. He and DJ Stagner have been clicking together as of late, and it looks like right now the Swamp Motorsport boys are doing what they've done best, working with one another. So far we've seen more of Potter than we have of DJ Stagner, and while Potter's gotten himself some solid runs, DJ's had the headlining finishes. Now it looks like when they're together they really are in sync. Might be the best chance for these two to come away with the win. Swamp Motorsport's not one of the biggest teams in the Integrity Racing League, outclassed in number by organizations like Roadhouse Racing, and of course you got drivers like Ethan Lane and Thurston that are so hard to catch even when they race on their own. But Stagner has been, in years past, one of the only drivers who can consistently command his teammates to a victory. So if anyone's going to do it, I wouldn't be too shocked. Sam Nieto getting down to the inside again on Zach Schrintenal. He can't quite get by. Ryan Potter. No dice that time around. Looks to the inside, but Brent McClendon's going to get through. DJ Stagner's actually fallen behind on the 99 of Potter, so it becomes Ryan's advantage for the two drivers who are teammates. Into the tunnel turn again. Most drivers are spaced out. Robert Richardson has been running at a solid enough pace, so it looks like he hasn't become much a hindrance nor a nuisance to any driver around him. That's good to see, but he's going to be in a very tricky spot as he's already one lap down to start this race. Being so far behind, I don't know what the expectation is going to be. And it looks like now Sean Kalis gets through, gets up to 12th position. Richardson further out of the frame. Nick Tarbuck is now 13th. Nick Ward, we talked about his start. It's been a great one. Found himself, of course, very, very far out of line with the beginning of this race, qualifying in 23rd, but making it up after all but entirely avoiding our first caution, save for his own near miss, or rather near problem, where he saved himself. He finds himself way, way better in a position than he was before. He's right there side by side with James Thurston. Cautions out again, second on the night. Call on the field is we've got trouble, but why? Looking back right now to find out. And the yellow is out. There's Jacob Fife, and these are the guys in the very far end of the field who are coming through. We'll pull it back a lap and see who caused it. Doesn't look like as these drivers cross the start-finish line, there's any indication of a wreck. Looking once more. Michael Durham, however, is out of the cockpit. Might have a problem for the Durham car that is no longer on the circuit. Trying to get a read on where Durham was at the time of the wreck. He was already on pit road here last time we saw him. Now, since that point, he has not been on track. See here, the field continues moving on. Yellow flags out. At that moment, a majority of the field coming down the front straightaway. Yellow is out. Second on the day here. We're at a standstill. Ethan Lane drops back into the third position. And it looks like no incident for the front runners. The yellow flag quietly flies, and Michael Durham, who by that point was already several laps down, he's going to retire. Robert Richardson was already one lap down. Difficult to see what happened, as it looks like we get a read on David Davis. Davis has damage. It looks like it must have been a single car incident far beyond the confines of the pack. He runs 33rd, and the front end is lopsided. Zach Schrintenal up top. Schrintenal takes the race lead. Sam Nieto is able to get himself right up there in the fight with Lane again. Now, wondering what happens next, you'll take a look. Driver number 84, Lane, he dropped back big. Now the lowest spot he's been in all day long, that is 8th. What we see before out of lane is it doesn't matter how far he drops back over the course of the big show, usually finds a way there in the finish. However, for now, multiple drivers able to outclass him. James Thurston has just caught up. Heading now for the 1 lap to green point. Trenthal in control. Zach still without a win on the season. A driver who's put together some good performances. Finds himself 29th in points. He has 4 top 10s, 1 top 5. Still eyeing what could be either a second top 5 or better yet, a first win on the campaign. Grant McClendon takes it up to second. Biggest mover in the top 10 is Alex Kim, gone from 20th to 9th, a gain of 11 places. Kim was involved in the very first incident of this race. Slightly shuffled up the racetrack, got involved with Michael Durham. David Davis gets the end of line penalty. He is deemed the cause of caution. Will be sent to the back. In championship news, Nicholas Ward is just ahead of Nick Tarbuck. The two have one of the smallest gaps they've had all night long. It is now between them 16th and 20th, about 4 positions that separate one another from those extra points. The battle for second in the championship is wide open. Ethan Lane, he's got more than a race's worth of points, fallen rather far back, rather quick. Now it looks like he's going to be running in the 14th place. Everyone fully settles themselves in this second restart. Game on from driver number 20, Zach Schrintenal. He'll come by the start-finish line. It's about neck even there with the number 12 of McClendon, and in fact, it looks like Brant McClendon gets the jump. He'll lead them into one with a great start. 12 laps in, it's the man in the number 12 who holds his own. Drivers shuffling into one another, their double file, and many a double file. Ethan Lane to the inside now on the 14 of Brock Potter. Lane is already looking for a top 10 stop in his road up the ladder. Going for Jacob Fife. Fife previously in 10th, no longer the case. And quickly, it is Lane on the move. He's back inside the single digits. James Thurston, perhaps not with the same electric energy he came into April and May with. Right now, he finds himself running in the 15th place. Qualified 4th, again, another great qualifying effort, but a 3-time race winner. And now trying to capture the spark back after 2 consecutive wins from Ethan Lane. Driver number 3 does not have to dominate to win. Remember Charlotte, he was able to get the job done. Figure things out eventually. He currently has himself just about, give or take, 2.5 seconds off the leader. And time to spare. Grant McClendon leads the way, 13 laps in, out of 80. Alan Perez and Ibog, thank you both for stopping by. Just getting started here. If you got any favorite drivers, make sure to shout them out. 13 laps in out of 80 into this 200-mile, 80-lap race. It's going to be a thriller by the end of it, but everyone's playing the strategy game, just trying to get to the end. Zach Schrintenel in the wall, and big. He's going to rebound off the wall with minimal damage, but the right side is crumpled. John Zabarro, he takes P2. A very blatant mistake, only to be followed up by an overdrive. What can be described as overdriving the corner for John Zabarro. That gives Schrintenel room down low. Zach definitely has damage. Just got to wonder, how bad exactly is it? That time by, Schrintenel is going to make it down the line and carries a whole lot of momentum into turn one. He is clear as day where he wants to be, keeping the fight alive, which is a shock. He came off that exit pretty harsh. Luckily, though, as he came off the turn one wall, he bounced right back into the racing action, didn't ricochet off into another inside wall. He stays competitive here. Nolan Potter is with Aaron Eads. Thurston, driver number 3, James Thurston, is now 14th. He's in the fight with Alex Kim, Brock Potter, Jacob Fife, and it looks like he too wants to get in this top 10. The crazy thing about this season always has been anything any driver can do, Ethan Lane seems to do it faster. While Thurston's making the same climb that Lane did about 5 laps ago, taking him a few laps on each move. For Lane, they're coming one lap at a time. And here's another. Getting to the inside. Ethan Lane's going to get into Ryan Potter. Potter in the wall. DJ Stagner, his teammate's going to come up on him, and he too is going to make a pass. Swamp Motorsports swapping positions to keep a charge on Cody Smith. Ryan, your 16th place qualifier. DJ Stagner, he is your 10th place qualifier. Caution's out, third of the day. Incident in the back of the field, presumably. And the yellow is out. Aaron Eads. Aaron Eads with trouble. And for the third time today, we got ourselves a yellow. Here's a look at what happened. Aaron was running amongst the best of them on the lead lap. This fight was for about 7th or 8th. Coming out of turn 1. No problems. And we're taking a whole lap look at this. Driver number 34. Nolan Potter right behind. And into the tunnel turn. He's loose, slows down, and gets caught up to significantly with contact. He's sent down to the inside. He'll remain there, and he doesn't come up. Nobody else going to make contact, but Aaron Eads with trouble. It's a one-car incident. The caution is out. It's your third of the day. Troublesome for Aaron. He just looks like he had a really bad exit out of 2. Wasn't quite able to put it back together again. I don't understand what exactly caused that, but it looks like he decided to slow it down as fast as he could. Put himself together again. "17 laps in out of 80. Grant McClendon with the chance to lead him into pit road. He will take it. Many a driver going in, even about 1 or 2 out on track. Ryan Bean for one. You see Joe Yakes there as well. But it becomes a pit road race as everyone decides to drop in. See who gets the lead off this run. Sam Nieto with the pole position stall, one of the later drivers to come in. And it looks like Jacob Fife will convincingly win off of pit road. It'll be Fife, and following him is DJ Stagner with Ethan Lane and Brant McClendon company. After that, you'll have guys like Brant McClendon, of course, Nolan Potter, Brock Potter, Sam Nieto, James Thurston, Ryan Kim, Brad Patton. Those are the guys who will wrap up the upper echelon of the field when we restack them once again. Third caution of the night. Big gains for Jacob Fife as he will take the net race lead on strategy. No time to slow it down. As it stands, most drivers have only gone in for one stop. Last time these drivers went down to pit road for some, it was lap 10. That's why you have Bean, Branscombe, Cornell, Yakes, who stayed out. They went down to pit road. And as for the others, majority just went down lap 17 or 18. Two drivers of your field tonight, just two, have not gone down to pit road at all. And those are your leaders. The top two drivers, John DeBarro at the number 1, and Cody Smith second. Cody lines up high, John low as the field goes green. First time in his career, Jackson Branscombe running now in the top 5. Qualified 28th, and on his first career start, he's getting a taste now of the head of the field. Jackson will start right up there, right behind Cody Smith. Watch out for driver number 21. Jackson is ahead of Joe Yakes, behind line leader Cody Smith. Ryan Bean, part of a select few drivers who went into pit road about 10 laps ago. They've got their first pit stop underway, out of the way. Now it's about time to figure things out and really load themselves up for the next run. Still looking to see a long green flag stint. That's the one thing we haven't had yet. With just over 60 laps remaining, time is ticking, and every lap matters more. First pit stop cycle's out of the way, will be led off this time by John DeBarro in the 61. It's his field when we go green this time. Up and away, John DeBarro's got the race lead, and behind him, it's a slew of drivers who move to the inside, using every lane of the Long Pond straightaway. Look at Ethan Lane. Lane's low. Lane's ahead. He'll get himself now up into, looks like, the 6th position. It's dramatic, but it's a big one-position gain. Jackson Branscombe quickly gets himself out of Lane's way and decides to move up to the top. Maybe not comfortable with what's going on all the way at the head of the field here. Jackson not looking for trouble. Rookie drivers, of course, don't want to make those bad first impressions, and it looks like something's going on just behind these guys. Scuffling, but everyone gets away. The pressure on a rookie, especially in their first few races, a little bit higher than what's going on for the drivers who are here on a week-by-week basis. Your reputation relies on showing up strong. Now, James Thurston, for one, won his first 3 races back-to-back-to-back. So that's a pretty good message for a driver who, of course, just showed up. But we got a few drivers who are rookies who are on the track tonight. Trenton Johns is one of them. You got him now on the circuit in that number 19. You got Jackson Branscombe. Jackson in the number 21 finds himself in a similar spot. Michael Ponder, more of the same in the 71. These drivers have very little to rely on reputation-wise, and now they're just committed getting themselves settled in and working alongside the field. You do not want to cause problems on that first race. That's the type of thing that can get you in a whole lot more trouble. John DeBarro still leads, but Lane has gotten up to third. Ethan Lane here, P3. James Thurston is now up to 6th, just a few positions back. Thurston is basically ineligible for the championship. Contact! Matthew Cornell, among others, and it's big. Nicholas Ward involved as well. Brad Patton to the inside. Driver number 19 goes around as well. Trenton Johns. It's the biggest wreck of the night. Caution's out. A slew of drivers out of turn 1, compiling into one another. And the field is at a standstill. Cornell just making a bad drive into one. He caught the apron and then catches Brad Patton. That sends Patton up to Nicholas Ward. Ward goes up the track and down it. Trenton Johns will get hit by Ward, who's out of control. Nick Tarbuck in the wall, Brock Potter in the wall, Sean Kalis gets contact as well. And you see right there, Trenton Johns hit hard, Zach Shrinton all involved. Bobby Keith with contact, and everyone catches a hit. Kalis to 71 as well. Caution is out, and it is nasty. As we said, the biggest wreck so far. It is your 4th of the day at lap 23. Yellow flags have been quick to come by today. Jacob Fife almost got himself involved right there. His onboard is a little bit more dangerous than most perspectives. Take a look from that hood camera above the cockpit, and you'll see how close he really was. I mean, driver slide in front of him. Here's a look in slow motion. 71 car, the rookie, Michael Ponder, inches away from getting caught up with Fife. Jacob will survive. Veteran driver knows his way around. Jacob Fife gonna move up a few spots on that one. He's in 22nd. Some now head to pit road. Brock Potter heading in. Joey Yakes going to be headlined right now by Jackson Branscombe. Nick Tarbuck as well. Getting some of that tap-up damage. Saw these guys were hitting up against the outside barrier. "24 laps in out of 80. And the field is at a standstill again. DraftKings, John Zabarro leads the Next Level Racing. Chevrolet, Cody Smith, the Red Bull machine. That Toyota Camry, the number 84, Ethan Lane. Lane has stopped at nothing so far to go up and down the lineup. Hasn't had as many laps led, perhaps, as he would like, but he's been competitive. Sam Nieto, James Thurston, these two drivers might be the only that can really hold these leading guys accountable, beginning to end. Don't be particularly shocked if Nieto finds his way. Sam hasn't gotten a win yet this season, but his track position, starting up front and first tonight, different than every other race so far. Finally collecting that first pole position on the season, something that has eluded him for quite a while, and perhaps not what we expected at a driver number 2 this season. Nieto has finally found his way around to the front of the qualifying pylon, a position that, yes, has been dominated by Ethan Lane, but the front row has been a little bit more difficult for him to get to. 2023, remember, a 4-time race winner. He, Jacob Fife, were trading it back and forth when it came to wins in that category. Only Seth Noel got away with more than 4 wins. Since then, it has been all about dominance. Double file and ready to roll. John DeBarro and Cody Smith are your front row for a rematch up front. Biggest mover in the top 10 is now Kevin Matz, who has rose up the charts by 14 places. He qualified 24th. Next closest would be Alex Kim. Kim is now 20th up to 8th and has been a remarkably consistent race for him. Top 10 since he got there, and he has not yet left. DJ Stagner, of the 2 teammates, now ahead. 14th place is Ryan Potter, just diagonal to his running mate in the Swamp Motorsports crew. John got away pretty well, John DeBarro did. On the previous launch, Ethan Lane has not yet been able to take neither he nor the 18 of Cody Smith away for the limelight. Let's see if that changes now that they're closer than ever before, position-wise and spacing-wise. iRacing Pace Car says goodbye, and John DeBarro says hello to the lead once again. 4th restart of the race. Cody Smith, not the best of launches, but the 61 gets enough and enough away to keep on moving. On the lead lap now, look to be 27 drivers for certain, going back to Michael Ponder. That category updates. And it looks like the last is Josh Gallagher as he just crossed the line. The field is only slightly shrunk up in front. Ethan Lane has held no prisoners, and now James Thurston looks to do the same. Thurston down to the inside, looking to make a hard pass on driver number 18. He's low, stays low, and he is dead even with the number 18 into 3. He'll be far out ahead, outside of it. .26 lap stand out of 80. 3rd place is Thurston. 2nd is now Ethan Lane. And no surprise so far, Lane is looking for the lead, and he will take it from John DeBarro. Not the best of exits from driver number 84, but he's still side by side. In a 2, James Thurston definitely likes what he's seeing. He'll pull right up on John DeBarro and try to make it another pass. Through the final of our 3 turns at the Pocono Raceway, James Thurston makes it. It's now 1-2, and perhaps the same 1-2 that we have seen throughout the past month plus. It's time again. Thurston to the inside on Ethan Lane, looking to settle the score and make it 4 victories for the Thurston crew. Can't quite make the pass, but Lane knows he's there, and he reacts swiftly. Lane defending the inside, but can't hold it, can't go clear. James Thurston has the speed into the tunnel and out of the chute. Now into 3, the least banking of any corner at the Pocono Raceway. It's all about finesse. Lane still has the high side and a little bit of track position, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. It's door to door now, and it looks like it'll be just enough for Ethan Lane to come away. He'll lead the lap again at 29. Thurston falls 3 car lengths back of the stripe. What's going to happen now with a John DeBarro, number 61, right within the confines? While DeBarro has been passed, he surely has not given up his chance to get up to the front of the field. He stays right behind Thurston. Let's see if he tries to put a little bit more pressure. Yellow flag's out, and a pause on the pressure, if any. It's your fifth of the race, and the yellows slow it down again. Time to figure out what exactly caused it. You look to the backpack of the field, looks like no problems here. But the caution is out. A lot of drivers booking out of turn one with no issues that we notice. Double file, many went into turn two. Grant McClendon slows, but he slows right at the moment of the caution. McClendon looks to be fine. The caution is out. One more look. Ahead of the pack, no dice. Perhaps the lappers involved. Josh Gallagher, David Davis, the last of the lead lap at that time. And the caution remains out. Fifth of the day. We take one more view. Just trying to understand what exactly there it is. The incident in hand. 90. Sean Kalist goes around. Caution is out for Sean Kalist. We'll get a better view on him right now, as driver number 90 was already 3 laps down at the time of the incident. And it looks like he might have just gone around on his own. In a one, flip the apron perhaps, and slides. The safety yellow, he comes back on the racing surface, but no big deal for the front runners, as the pack is collected again at 30 laps in. Caution number 5, Ethan Lane has been the leader so far of the last about 5 or so laps. It hasn't been as convincing as perhaps he would like, but he still holds his own. John DeBarro putting pressure down in third. Ryan Bean, 17th, up to 5th. Alex Kim, 20th to 6th. Sam Nieto, 1st down to 7th. And Nolan Potter is 8th to 8th. Grant McClendon, 7th down to 9th. And DJ Stagner now holds the door for the top 10. The final driver in, and could be the first driver pushed out. No dice just yet. Driver number 64 holds his own. Ethan Lane will see the 1 lap to green this time by. We'll go at it again at lap number 33. Yellow flag is the only thing that has slowed down the race pace. Now with 5 on the night so far, looks like it's largely just going to be cautions that determine strategy. Not too big a shock. We've seen that happen a lot of times before. But it means it's going to be a multi-stop race when really this could be a one-stopper. Thurston, fuel saving to the extreme. Take it down to the pit road apron. Even though I'm pretty confident he's not going to go in this time. Those extra few hundred feet could be the difference in a very long run of getting another lap or being done for. One to green now as one driver gets right off pit road. That's David Davis. Davis is still trying to recover from some early damage And he got in the left front. Davis makes his move. Currently 27th. And it looks like we'll have up to 29 on the lead lap. Brad Patton able to get away from one of the bigger incidents of the night. While damaged to some extent, driver number 9 now finds himself back in a little bit better shape. A much better chance to compete. 29 on the lead lap. Still have closer to 35 racing. And Michael Durham, Eli Cars, Trevor Trago, the only 4 certain retirees, as well as Zach Schrintenel. So that leaves us with 33 that are still on the circuit. iRacing pace lights off. We get out of this final corner. It'll be time again for Ethan Lane, James Thurston to battle it out. No doubt about it, it's these two, the favorites of the series for wins at this point. Lane, being the dominant driver of the season, is already looking for that double-digit tally in victories. Tonight could be the night he breaks through. Thurston doesn't get the jump he needs. John DeBarro with an excellent push to the 84, and it comes at the perfect time. That's what Lane wants. That's what Lane gets. It's Ethan Lane to the head of the field again. John DeBarro, driver 61, merges back up top, blocks Cody Smith. 1, 2, 3, 4, as they were to start this off, and make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Alex Kim. Kim tries to get around and under on Cody Smith with a slight nudge. That's going to run the 18 up the track. Not much more he can do but collect it high and lose a critical position. So Alex Kim is up to 4th. Watch what happens here for Nolan Potter. Take a closer look on board with him. He's chasing after the Cody Smith car. Smith rattled just a bit. Can the number 34 make his way through? Just an opportunity to get inside the top 5, something Potter would desperately like to have. Let's talk about the championship standings and where he lies. Of course, it's Ethan Lane and Nick Tarbuck, Nicholas Ward, the conversation points up in front. But for Nolan Potter, driver number 34, he is 17th in the standings and fell down 2 last race. He'll need a top 10 to enter the top 15 in a championship again. Thurston is a few tenths back on Lane right now. No difference between those drivers versus the rest of the field. They've stayed pretty consistent. Coming across the line in the packed grandstands. Potter not able to get a move on the driver ahead of him. Nearly 3 wide for Cody Smith and Alex Kim. John DeBarro holds the high side. Sacrifices some of that through corner speed. Gets a great exit. Not easy to make that sacrifice. Right now, John DeBarro looks to be very comfortable. Power he's got coming out of that number 61. That Ford Mustang well equipped off every corner. And he and Cody Smith have been practically on the same wavelength the whole night. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here as Alex Kim gets in the middle of their dynamic. They qualified 11th and 13th. Cody Smith the better of them. And right now, while John DeBarro slightly outperforms, it's Alex Kim who's coming from 20th. Try to make something work. Nearly halfway. 40, the 50-50 marker. 80 again when the checkered flag falls. Cody Smith here has continued to work on the inner groove and is trying to chip away at some of the guys who have gotten by him. Nolan Potter now found his way through. And even though he gets to the inside and gives that signal that he's looking for something, doesn't have the aggression, or rather doesn't have the power off the corner to really fight his way in. James Thurston's gotten a lot closer. They're side by side for the lead again. Now coming down the grand straightaway here, the Long Pond front straight. It's Lane leading, but you might notice he doesn't have clearance. So whatever happens here, it all comes down to the entry of turn 1. Modeled after the Lake Trenton Speedway, James Thurston takes it in with power and confidence, and you'll see ahead of him, he's got a clean track. Full steam ahead. James Thurston making a big move right now on Ethan Lane. He pulls 1/10 of a second. Caution's out. And we'll go to the halfway point with the yellow flag. A wreck and a rookie involved. Jackson Branscombe among others. 6th of the day as we head to the halfway point of this race. Jackson Branscombe. What happened here? Robert Richardson got back on the lead lap. These guys were fighting for about 15th. And the front end perspective just shows getting loose. Was that with contact? We're about to see. Rookie, driver number 21, 20 on your screen, Jackson Branscombe in the orange and black Wildside Chevrolet. Some problems. And for Jackson, don't believe that's contact. He just got loose. Austin Cardule, interestingly, gets loose at the same time. And the rear view camera from the deck lid of that number 20 might just give you the better story for both of those incidents. Watch this. Richardson never quite got to the back end. Cardules just happened to get loose off the same bump. And so they both slid. Jackson actually getting the better of it as he doesn't hit anyone or anything. Austin Cardules hits the wall. 2 incidents at basically the same time. They'll cause the same caution. Sixth yellow flag of the day. So we will head to lap 40 and the halfway marker with yellow flag. Cautions have been prominent today. Had some 5 or 6 lap runs for the most part. Haven't yet gotten into the double digits on one stretch. We haven't had cautions really breeding cautions directly, but they've been common. And it's been hard to manage because a lot of drivers have lost confidence in staying out there long. You'll see right now, Don Stevenson is among a group that are taking it to pit road. So a strategy split, and a pretty big one, led by Ethan Lane. Lane will decide to go in early. He and James Thurston are now at odds when it comes to tire strategy. Seen that play out before, so it could go either way. Lane gets the rollout. He'll be followed by Jacob Fife, Don Stevenson, and Cody Smith. All of whom coming out one after the next. It is Thurston's lead. Coming to 1 to go next time. With that being said, going to be another stage win for James Thurston, who already has tied on the season for the most stage wins of any driver. He and Ethan Lane are tied at 3. And it looks like when he opens up this next restart, he's going to find himself again with a stage win. He is 4th on the campaign with 5 starts. This will be a 6th start officially, and another stage win. Pretty remarkable that he's going to be able to do that in such a small amount of time. And he's done it at a variety of tracks and a variety of situations. 1 to green, we will start at the beginning of the second half. Coming to 1 to green. Lead lappers getting together. We got 25 confirmed right now. 27 on the scoring pylon. Not everyone's made it through. Randy Fiash just went down to pit road. Kent Wetherell there as well. Austin Cardules. Brad Patton are the last of which. Patton right now rolling around one final time. He gets back with him. James Thurston, John DeBarro, Nolan Potter, Ryan Bean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Be the headliners for this next fight. First 40 laps have come and gone. Now it becomes the big battle, the drive for the win. James Thurston holds fort. This time around will come away with his season high 4th stage win of the season. That leads all drivers in only 6 race appearances. He'll do that and take one of the statistical categories on the season away from Ethan Lane. His goal, take another win away from the 84. If the rest of the field hasn't been able to, it might just be him. Watch out for Lane, though. Ethan now has new rubber, and driver number 84 will line up in P13. When they say hello again, green flag comes this time by. It is go time for the number 3 of James Thurston, and he's on his way with 40 laps remaining this time around. Green flag is out, and it's all Thurston. He'll win the stage, and now it's the fight to win this race. Many a driver are single file, and very quickly, everyone slots in a line. That's not always what we see. But it looks like now, with the second half in mind, drivers are identifying the big goal, the win. Number 18, Cody Smith, heads to the inside on Matthew Cornell. This is for the 10th place. And it is a fast drive up into the top 10. Should be good enough. Keep Cornell at bay if Smith can use the inside well. So far, the inside dominant, especially through turn 1. Here's Ethan Lane. Lane is now down to 16th. So it looks like he's going to start his pick-off journey. Get things going. .39 laps to go. James Thurston is getting the ride of his life out here with nobody coming out to contest him. Second place, however, is quite a different situation. You've got driver number 61, John DeBarro, and driver number 34, Nolan Potter. Those two in respective order. They are right behind, trailing each other, looking for the second place. John right here, if you take a look on his backside, taking it high, Nolan Potter has opted for the bottom. Down the back straightaway, that's going to be a big benefit for DeBarro, who's able again to pull away. John DeBarro in the championship race finds himself 5th. Just 2 weeks ago, he lost 3 places after being the runner-up man in the title standings. John has had an excellent season, especially compared to his previous campaigns, with 7 top 10s and 4 top 5s, some of the best numbers put out through the entire season. Very few drivers have been as consistent as he is, especially on the top 5 and top 10 front. And that's exactly what's kept him in the mix. A top performance tonight to run in second place while drivers like Ward and Tarbuck have struggled is going to be huge. Nolan Potter is nowhere near him right now in the championship standings, so his closest competition really is himself. He just has to continue hitting his marks to remain competitive up ahead. John DeBarro right now, relative to second place in the championship, is 25 points away. Ryan Bean is 21 points away. Nicholas Ward is 12 points out, and even Jacob Fife finds himself in a good spot. Fife right now not up in front of the field racing-wise, but he is only about 30 points away from second in the championship. If Ethan Lane did not exist, Nick Tarbuck would be the title leader, and it would be everyone going against him. And for a while there, John DeBarro very likely would have been the driver at the head of the championship. A title he would have hypothetically held until just last race. Nolan Potter to the inside. He'll try to get a good look off that number 61. Can't seem to make a pass. DJ Stagner, fifth place man, the 64. Gets it off turn 2. No dice there. Ryan Bean, 17th up to 4th. He's 13 places ahead of where he previously was. And he holds his own outside of the podium. He'll trail Nolan Potter into that first corner. No problems right now. Every driver, single file, calm and consistent here. It looks like now everyone's settling really into their roles in this pack. Brock Potter to the inside on the rookie, Jackson Branscombe. It's 2 by 2 if there's a battle behind, and it looks like there is, but it hasn't gone side by side. Ethan Lane, not floundering per se, but he's dropped back now to the 18th position. I think Lane has his eyes set on going the whole distance here. Last time he went down to pit road was a long while back, but nowhere near as long as James Thurston. Lane last went in at 40. He has no incentive to push hard right now because by the numbers, should be able to just go all the way. If he's able to stay in the pack right now, wait around, then very likely, if we go green, he would end up the winner. No guarantees about us having that green flag run, but he's put himself out for a very good strategy where even if drivers have to go down to pit road, well, he'll be competitive. James Thurston last went down to pit road at lap 18, and so regardless of how things are sliced, he's going to have to go down to pit road within the next 10 to 15 laps if he wants to make it through. I don't know what's going to happen for Thurston. He's just going to have to hope that problems ensue behind. Maybe the only way he's going to get that is with some closer racing like what we just had a good look on. Side by side between two rookies, Michael Potter, Jackson Branscombe. Brad Patton now also in the mix. He's gotten himself alongside the newcomers. Sure, he doesn't want to be involved in any of their trouble, but he's right there and they're close. Patton has had one too many good races ripped from him. And largely that's because, of course, late race incidents, which has been the plague of his season. Well, one of the strongest drivers we have, and last year he was able to come away with 2 big wins. This season has not been nearly as kind to him, 24th in the championship, and only with 2 top 10s and 1 top 5. Patton is a driver who is notorious for making things a little bit harder on himself than anyone else. He chooses exactly not to go and get out there for any qualifying laps. He'll start from the back of the field no matter what. And oftentimes he can get up to the front. We've seen a lot of races and with late race turmoil and contact in which it is almost impossible to really get through with full knowledge. Take a look on board right now at Patton, as he's going to get himself in the mix right behind Ethan Lane. To the inside on Lane. Patton's going to make that pass. An unrelenting shot to the inside. He'll take it through one. Brock Potter finding himself now in the 16th position. 2 spots down in his qualification with 30 laps to go. Robert Richardson has had a hell of a turnaround on this race, getting involved in the first caution of the day and being sent 1 lap down. He had to deal with restarting at the head of the field as a lapper. And while that was difficult for him, he ended up not getting involved with anyone else. And we haven't talked much about him since. His high on the day, where he is right now, running that 8th position, and well, of course, we saw him way outside of the top 20. And in fact, by the time he was a restart leader, he was outside of the top 30. But it looks like more than 20 positions gained. He has returned to where he wants to be, competitive at the head of the pack. Things have shuffled out in his favor. And I think he's got what he needs to set himself up well for a good run, even if maybe he doesn't fall into the top 10 by the end of it. It's a whole lot better than how the night began for the Richardson team. 2 down to the inside. Pit road is inevitable. To the inside is Ryan Bean and John DeBarro, who have decided to let up and make their final stops. Ethan Lane has no choice but to stay out. James Thurston has no choice but to be out here. I don't know what we can say about this Thurston. He's going to need a caution. It's the only way he's going to get himself lucky enough to finish out of here and get a chance at a win or a win outright. "29 laps to go. Time ticks down. Every lap a reminder he's got to make a call. Drivers are more often than not now starting to get themselves settled in and make that next move. DeBarro, some of the earliest groups, including DeBarro and Bean. While the undercut might not be all that common, looks like for now we still have the bulk of the field that can make that call. Take a look at the pit intervals and when drivers last went into pit road. For many, in the teens. Cody Smith might actually have the best strategy going of all, because he last went in lap 39. 1 lap before the halfway point. Of course, we started it off, and we did so with a caution. So we got about an extra lap or so to figure things out. One driver again to the inside on pit road, and it is no shock as Nolan Potter drops in. Potter makes it into pit road this time by 53 laps into this race. I think that Thurston's only got about 5 laps left, if anything, for him to stay out. EJ Stagner, 10th up to 2nd, now 3 seconds back on the Thurston team. He last went down to pit road at 19 again, and Cody Smith and Nick Tarbuck are really the start of something, because if they are to stay up at the head of the field under a long green flag run, race win could be theirs. Ethan Lane right now is 7 seconds back on Cody Smith. If they are on the same strategy, it's 7 seconds to make up over about 27 laps. Not impossible, but it would require a pace of about a quarter second every lap for 27 laps consecutively. Again, something that we have seen before, something that maybe we can expect to see again. But at Pocono, it's pretty difficult. Ethan Lane is still right behind Brad Patton here, and is stuck with a small bundle of drivers who don't seem to be particularly concerned with immediately chasing the lead. One driver who just went down to pit road is going to lose a whole lot. James Thurston. Thurston has already, in fact, made his way through and is now back on the racetrack. A fast merge for driver number 3. Thurston is hungry and looking for spots as he gets back on the way. Merges up ahead of Austin Cardules. He runs now in 21st. DJ Stagner takes the lead. DJ is expected to go to pit road within the next 5 laps. Sam Nieto, Brant McClendon, DJ Stagner in ascending order, all following the leader of the Swamp Motorsport crew. Ryan Potter has fallen further out of contention tonight, 18 laps down as it runs. But the 64 team has found that magic of old again to be as competitive as he needs to be up in front. Coming to 25 laps to go, DJ Stagner makes it 24 as he crosses the start-finish. Robert Richardson, side by side with Nick Tarbuck, now in 6th. Very few on pit road right now. Don Stevenson side by side with one of the rookies, and Michael Ponder. Michael here is just up on the high side of the 47 of Stevenson. And Stevenson with a big opportunity to block. He slides up, lucky not to hit the wall. Ponder is going to get his way through. He'll be following him. Jacob Fife is following. So it's going to be multiple drivers looking out for that 47 as a shot to make a pass. DJ Stagner still leads the way with 23 laps to go this coming time by. Leading overall is Stagner. Cody Smith still with the strategy to beat, 7 seconds up on Ethan Lane. Next time around, we're going to crank it up with our friends at Whiplash SimCams, iRacing's best camera provider. With the most realistic TV-style cameras on the market, you can elevate your broadcasting game with Whiplash SimCams. Visit their social media platforms on Facebook and Discord to find out more. And as a matter of fact, their Discord server has free camera packages, which means that if you're interested in trying their content without committing just yet, yes, you can. Visit Whiplash SimCams online to learn more. Thank you again to Pit Stop TV and their entire team for continued support. DJ Stagner and Brant McClendon are the leaders coming across this time by, as with 22 laps to go, we are going to crank it up from Long Pond, Pennsylvania, live and loud from Pocono. With eyes on the strategy game, it still looks like nobody can touch Cody Smith. Sam Nieto's the last of those guys on the old tires who's on the racetrack. DJ Stagner and Brant McLennan just went in. James Thurston, the conversation piece who won the stage, is now far out of consideration. He runs in 20th, and Ethan Lane, forget about it, he's 12 seconds behind on Smith with 18 laps to go. All signs point to these two drivers that you're looking at, Cody Smith, Nick Tarbuck, as the drivers who should be able to win this race. They have the strategy, basically, in the palm of their hands. I don't see exactly where they would lose it. Sam Nieto decides to drop in. He'll concede, he'll head in. That may just be his night. Cody Smith, now your leader, and everything is falling in line for what could be a huge upset win. Ethan Lane is 10 seconds back, and that gap has only extended since the first time we checked on it. Originally a 9-second lap. These drivers came around for the first time in their cycle. 9-second gap, shall we say. It's extended a second. And with 17 laps to go, I don't exactly know what he's going to do. He might just have to put the jets on and fire up his fastest laps if he has anything left. Oh, Matthew Cornell to the inside. Is that trouble? It looks like it's below the racing surface. It's still a caution. Yellow flag is out for Matthew Cornell. Wow. Big race-changing wreck. And a small one because it's not much a wreck, it's more one out of line. But Cornell changes everything with him sliding. Watch this. I mean, a very textbook, loose and inside moment. Not much more to really review on this one. But you'll see it one more time. Just loose. Oh, a nudge from Brock Potter. But a very, very small moment leads to a problem. Yellow flag for a two-car incident. Brock Potter and Matthew Cornell. As with 16 to go and less than that when we return up to speed, I think everyone's going to go down to pit road. I wonder what James Thurston is going to do. He's probably in that sort of position where it's not worth it to go. I have a feeling he's going to decide to take track position. I think Lane is going to have a reason, and he's going to have to end up taking himself down to pit road. Not a good situation for guys like Cody Smith or Nick Tarbuck or Lane. There you have it. Many of them just dropped in. A call for Thurston is he will follow them and decide to get rubber. Not everyone going for tire. Looks like the Goodyear Eagles are rather popular as Cody Smith slides into his stall. Let's see who gets out of this one first. 4 tires fuel the recipe right now. Thurston just got into his stall. Lane moves out of it. He'll be one of the fastest by far. In fact, the winner off this run. Cody Smith just got away from Eric McFarland, who had trouble. Then you have Nick Tarbuck, Robert Richardson, Kevin Matz, Bobby Keith, Alex Kim. Cody Smith is there. So is Don Stevenson and John DeBarro, all of which who outclassed Thurston on the way out. So Lane is going to get a big edge. Cody Smith, it looks like for his race, well, difficult now. Battle Ethan Lane, who has suddenly jumped ahead. Kent Wetherell stayed out. Kent is in the number 70. DJ Stagner as well. Still on the track. 15 laps to go. We will go green. 13. 13 laps remaining for the Pocono Raceway. If we have any yellow flag laps after the 5 to go marker, we're heading to overtime. Kent Weatherell this time by will surrender the race lead. Driver number 70 backing off. Now that position is held solely by DJ Stagner. Stagner and Potter are first and second, with Brant McClendon, Sam Nieto third, fourth, Yakes fifth. First driver on newer rubber, Ethan Lane. It's been a slow but steady crawl back up the ladder for Lane since the second half began. That was our longest green flag stint by quite a long margin. Now, hopefully from here on out, things calm and collected, or at least get some good green flag racing in. Would be exciting to see what happens now at the field going against itself. Some drivers and different strategies, looking to make things work. No guarantee who's got the stuff. Coming through that final corner next time by, DJ Stagner will do the honors. It's going to be real difficult. He did just go down to pit road. That's the only benefit he has. Track position, and he went to pit road. For Stagner, it could be a win just off that call. We'll find out this time around if he made the right moves. Stagner's got a great jump. 13 laps to go. That restart is his and then some. First of the second half after our longest stint of the night. We're back underway with the victory still to be claimed by one of these many drivers on the lead lap. 26 still in the running. Ethan Lane swerving to the inside. He'll take it 3 wide on Sam Nieto and Brant McClendon. Gets by multiple drivers in just one sequence. Now, ahead of Richardson, ahead of McClendon. Richardson with a nasty block. That's going to send Sam Nieto all the way up high. Watch now as Alex Kim goes low. Thurston goes with him. They're looking for multiple spots on the inside as well. DJ Stagner. 13 laps to go. Take a look behind. He's got the lead. And track position plays well into his favor. That lap, Ethan Lane is going to try to be the one driver who can prove it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. Nolan Potter's up on the high side. Rattles out of that corner. A poor run for him. Ethan Lane gains just a little bit more. Waiting his turn. James Thurston is now running 13th. He's side by side with Alex Kim. Nick Tarbuck in the wall just a little bit. It's a slight nudge. He'll get away from it. He's in the mix. With Alex Kim again, Brad Patton. Patton, who's now up 17 places on the night. And the biggest mover of all by a long, long distance. Ethan Lane is now second. Nolan Potter decides to take it upstairs all over again. The high side has been much to the benefit of driver number 34 in this little stint. Lane is saved again in terms of getting back in the draft. He'll keep Brant McClendon at bay, but he's not able to get Potter that time by. DJ Stagner's loving that because with 10 laps to go, every mistake behind him is a better shot for his victory. DJ's got 10 laps, 25 miles to settle it for his first Integrity Tuesday night win. a champion of the Ignite Series, who's taken his talents over to the second day of the work week. And so far, while he's been fast, the results haven't gone the way he's wanted them to. A big maiden victory tonight could change everything for the rest of this season. Ethan Lane, second to second on the day, gets back to his qualifying placement. He is in familiar territory, but not quite comfortable. Win number 10 is all he's got his eyes on. It looks like right now, 9 laps to go. Catbird's seat is solely his. As we take a look on board, 5th gear, and pulling at 196 miles an hour into turn 1. Pocono Raceway, one of the few ovals that implores drivers to use gear shifting to their benefit. Great drive out of 1 for Lane. Not quite for Stagner, but he does keep the position. Thurston is up to 7th. If anyone else is going to catch up to Lane, it may very well be him. He's got a lot of room to gather. He wants that to be a reality. John DeBarro slightly smacking the wall. Lane's got the inside, and he just convincingly pulls it through 3. Wow, Ethan Lane, where did that speed come from? Halfway through the corner, Ethan Lane takes control. Big move with 9 laps to go. Stagner's going to try to do him one more. Oh, a nudge! And Stagner backs off. Stagner rubs up on Lane and decides to back off. That's a big call. It's going to save both their races, but that's going to give Lane a lot of room for this win. 7 to go next time by as Ethan Lane approaches with exceeding speed his 10th win of the season. DJ Stagner drops to 2nd. Thurston now chases after Sam Nieto and Brant McClendon, who go after each other. McClendon in the number 12. Sam Nieto in the number 2. Nieto, the pole sitter tonight, who's had one of his best races of the season. He's trying to get back on the podium. He's been there a few times before. The victories have just not come his way. Very hard to imagine that any driver can find a way to victory when they're so commonly being challenged by the drivers that we see all the time up in front, like Thurston, for instance, and of course Ethan Lane. Lane has only 6 laps to go. And 0.6 of a second is the biggest gap he's had all throughout this stint. Now we're in the position where if this mid-pack comes undone, they're 3 wide right now. If an incident happens, we're very close to that overtime or green-white checker territory. 5 laps to go or lesser. That will prompt us to make our way to green-white checkered mode, in which the field will get a little bit more time to race. 2 laps guaranteed to finish this race under green. Not guaranteed. But if, of course, we don't end up with any yellow flags until the final stretch, that will send us right there. It's at the mercy of the field to see if we have that problem. It's tight back here, and it is contentious. Bobby Keith side by side now. The driver number 47. That's Don Stevenson. Keith gets low again on Stevenson here. No differentiation between these guys on pace, at least on a lap-by-lap basis now. DJ cuts the gap a little bit through the corners, but the tunnel turn is going to separate them further. 1 second lead for Ethan Lane. Thurston is now hot on the heels of the podium sitters. And we might see the top 3 shake up, so long as Thurston gets a shot at it. Nolan Potter now has Thurston right on his back. James will decide to push Potter rather than immediately going for the pass. For 4th, driver number 3 takes another one. Lane is now 4 laps away from a 10th victory on the season, which to this point for any driver on the calendar is a season high, but also would be the highest point that we've seen for any driver victory-wise for the halfway point of the season. Mind you, our halfway race is next week. 3 to go this time by. Sam Nieta looking for something on DJ Stagner. He hasn't yet found it. DJ continues to protect second. Thurston is now past Nolan Potter. James is looking for Sam Nieto. And maybe in that quest he's going to find DJ Stagner as well. Take a look off the backside for driver number 2. James is now right on the bumper of the number 2 Ford Mustang. The Fighting Irish Ford has one more battle to either win or lose. And as he tries to put a lot of pressure here on DJ Stagner, I think he's got to accept the fact the pressure is instead on him. 2 laps, and now just 3 miles, which separate one driver from victory and the rest from defeat. Ethan Lane still ahead. Thurston now enters the podium. It's been a long, hard fight to get there, and he's finally made it. DJ Stagner now with the penultimate shot. He's got to make it one more lap to hold Thurston at bay. A possible outcome, but not very likely. White flag this time around. Race is official. And Ethan Lane holds the keys to the kingdom. The rest of the field has gone at each other all throughout this night. Brad Patton looking to go 32nd to 12th. With one of the biggest move games he's had all throughout the season. 20-plus spots on his qualifying placement. Alex Kim looking for a top 10. Robert Richardson with a turnaround race of the night is in 7th. He wants to finish this race off well, just as well. But as they come around for the final corner, it's a battle for second behind. Ethan Lane has a chance to hit double-digit victories before the halfway point in this season. We've only run 14 races. Ethan Lane, as he crosses the checkered flag, will collect his 10th win on the campaign. Stagner takes second. The field erupts behind with huge damage and wreckers as they cross the line. The yellow flag is out, but it's yellows and checkers. Nothing changes. Drivers rush to the line and avoid the carnage. Ethan Lane is a 10-time winner this season. An unbelievable number. For the field's most dominant man, he found a way to do it again. Tenth of top 5s and top 10s for the 84 team. And he is categorically the best of the best, without a doubt. DJ Stagner proves his worth at this venue. We've seen him here before, and he did something very similar. He drove a really, really strong race, kept Thurston at bay at the line, Ethan Lane now just going to finish it off and give the proper celebration. He'll head down to the inside and burn it down from Long Pond, Pennsylvania. One of the fastest tracks, and our fastest driver does it again. And it looks like Lane trying to take a whole lap around the track. A little bit of contact along the way. Tell you this much, we'll come back with your post-race results and interviews of the top three right after a message from our friends at iRacing. Stay tuned, live on FTN Broadcasting. We'll be right back after this message.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ethan Lane leads the most of all drivers with 25 on the day and wins over DJ Stagner in second and James Thurston in third. Combined, the top three drivers, of course, leading the majority share of this race, 56 of 80. And when you account for the other drivers in the top five, Sam Nieto and Brant McClendon, those guys combined to lead 63. Of the top 10, including 8th place John DeBarro, who finished behind 6th Nolan Potter, and Robert Richardson. That's 73 laps in just 6 drivers. Alex Kim and Brock Potter in the top 10 with 11th place Brad Patton, Nick Tarbuck 12th, Cody Smith 3 laps led in 13th, Ryan Bean 14th, and Kevin Matz P15. 16th goes Bobby Keith with Eric McFarland, Joe Yakes, Matthew Cornell, and Jackson Branscombe, all wrapping up the top 20. 21st is Randy Fiash, 22nd Kent Wetherell, Michael Ponder goes 23rd, 24th is Don Stevenson, 25th is Austin Cardules, then David Davis, Sean Kalist, Aaron Eads, Nicholas Ward, and Jacob Fife end the top 30, with your final drivers being Josh Gallagher and the retirees Ryan Potter, Zach Shrintenel, Trenton Johns, Michael Durham, Eli Cars, and Trevor Trago, but none is a match for Ethan Lane. Lane had himself a rough middle portion of this first half of the season, losing a few races to multiple drivers, including Thurston and Nolan Potter, of course, but it appears now the magic is back for the 84 with his second largest consecutive win streak of the season, now back up to 3 back-to-back wins for the 84 crew. Ethan Lane back on top again. How does it feel?
Feels good. Had to earn that one for sure. And there was a lot of varying strategies tonight. We didn't know what was going to happen, and at the midway point, I was like, "All right, bet we're gonna feel safe." And I felt like it would have worked out either way. If it went green, I felt like we had the fuel to win the race. But yeah, no, we'll take the win how we got it tonight.
Now, tonight, of course, a tale of two different races, the second half only having one additional caution. Tires and strategy meant a big deal. How did you plan yourself out to get through that last section?
Guesswork, basically. Like, I'm just sitting here on the fly guessing what I should do, what I shouldn't do. That last stop, I was like, okay, I know that this car lights two tires for at least like 10 laps, and with short fueling it. So I was like, okay, let me see if this works. And I got through the first couple cars pretty quickly, but getting around Nolan Potter and JJ Stadner was definitely a lot tougher than I wanted it to be. So we kind of burnt our stuff up. But once we got out front, we kind of just maintained what we needed to, and it worked out.
Everything works out at the end. You found yourself all the way across the field tonight. We looked like we were heading for what could have been a long green flag run. You were outside of the top 10 for a while there. It still looked like you had a decent time getting through track position-wise and could make passes. What was it like working through the field? Pocono was a lot of lanes, but looks like an inside dominant track. How did that work out?
Like I said earlier, it was tough. You really had to be methodical about where you were putting your car compared to where the car in front of you was going to be. You kind of had to just, as soon as they turned in, you had to either go top or bottom. I definitely found some grip in turn 3 on the very, very bottom, wrapping the curb, and that's what allowed me to get past Potter and Stadner at the end there.
Back on top, back at the big tracks, and that's something that's going to be a little bit of a trend as we get back to business here. We are now just a few weeks from our 2-week summer break, and next on the schedule from Pocono, well, we got ourselves Sonoma. It's a big track, but not a big oval. We're back to the road circuit. It was a hard-fought fight between you and, of course, James Thurston. Last time by at the Glen, the lappers got involved. How do you feel about your chances here?
I think it'll be more of the same with me and Thurston, but I definitely think this one's gonna be a little bit more tire dependent, and you're not gonna have the fast like corners like we had at the Glen to where Dirty A will keep someone behind. So we'll see how it goes, but I definitely feel like it'll be like Watkins Glen again, where whoever's out front on pole and gets the jump will probably win the race.
So back to the twists and turns next week, but until then, riding high with the momentum, 3 consecutive for Ethan Lane and the 84 crew as the checkered flag falls in Pennsylvania. Any final shout-outs or comments you'd like to send? The floor is yours.
Yeah, just thank you to everyone over at Integrity, all the admins and everyone you for telling these broadcasts. I would say something more, but I want to just keep my mouth shut about it. Everyone knows the problems they have, so we'll move on from there, and hopefully we can actually have a green flag run or a race next week and not have any craziness happen where we need to throw a yellow.
Well, with that said, Ethan Lane, winner from Pocono, Pennsylvania. Big win for the 84 crew to return from our brief break. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
Lane wins, and it was hard fought for second as well as DJ Stagner racks up his best finish on the season. Driver number 64 holds on for P2. DJ, we've seen you doing great at this track before. More of the same tonight.
Yeah, Pocono's always been pretty good for me, and good to have a nice run here in Integrity. It's been a while since I've been able to finish one off like that, so very happy with it. I mean, it could have been worse. I think I had about a 5th or 6th place car. Just got lucky with strategy a little bit. Kind of made the right calls there. Got the lead late and just had to hold on.
Now, the number 64 crew, this is your first time around on the Tuesday nights with the Next Gen, but you've got experience racing here and performing well. How easily does that experience of the track adapt from car to car, particularly with the Next Gen?
I mean, it helps a little bit just knowing kind of the nuances of the track, like the bumps and kind of where everything is. But as far as the car itself goes, it really doesn't drive like anything else. I mean, I think the closest comparison would be, I don't know if you remember it, but back in Highline when we ran the Gen 6 car here and we had that great race with myself, Roberto, and I believe it was, I don't even remember who else it was. It was the 4 car. But that was a great one. And it drove very similar to that. So I was Dawson Buchanan. That's who it was. But yeah, so it's similar to that, but you know, the next gen's just a little different, a little wacky the way you have to shift and stuff. But yeah, overall it was, familiarity with the track helps a lot. So happy with it.
And you mentioned that race, and we mentioned it on the stream here, as of course it was you in a three-way battle, and I believe you got the victory. And we mentioned it because that race was all about showing your best speed or getting out of problems late in the going. You and James Thurston, quite the battle at the end. What got you the upper hand?
If you want me to be totally honest with you, the only reason I was able to beat him is because I had Ryan Potter and my friend Brian in my ear telling me that I could not beat him, and that made me a little angry. So I tried really hard. That was about it. If you want to know the truth, I was just driving it on his door and hoping that it worked. And if we both wrecked, it didn't really bother me. So, I mean, it is what it is. I hope with this run, I'm not eligible for the playoffs with a win. I assume if I'm able to point my way in, I'll still be eligible, because I had to miss a bunch of starts early in the year with my nephew's baseball season. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch throughout the season. We're like way down there. We're in the 30s, I think, but hopefully just start picking and climbing with 10 or so races left, try to close the gap and try to point the way into the playoffs. We'll see what happens.
Maybe just enough time with races like this to get back into the picture. DJ Stagner, second place here from Long Pond. Any last shout-outs you'd like to send? The floor is yours.
Just shout out to my friends Ryan and Brian and Billman and all the people, Swamp Motorsports, obviously, Lucas, Ty, Connor, Sebi, you for the broadcast and all the admins for putting on the show. I enjoyed the race a lot. I enjoyed the car, so had a pretty good amount of fun. I don't get to race as much as I used to at this point, so just being able to be back and being able to do it like that felt pretty good.
D2 on the day, DJ Stagner gets the job done in a fight against Thurston and takes home the middle step. Thank you for stopping by.
All right, thank you.
James Thurston, driver number 3, finishes third, gets another podium, and the consistency continues. Not a win tonight, Thurston, but now you lead the series in stage wins and just 2 spots short. How was it out there?
A little bit disappointed because I really feel like I was the fastest. I think I really wish that it went green there. I think that if it went green, I was going to be the best on a longer run. And yeah, a bit frustrated, obviously not to win. But at the same time, I cannot be mad coming from 17th or 18th to 3rd place in like 12 laps. I thought that I was about to ruin my finish there. Thankfully, we got a yellow that was able to kind of save me, and I just had to put the work in and get up front. I was hoping for another yellow there because I feel like if we had one towards the end of the race after I'd made it up to about 5th or so, I could have had something for the win. But I just didn't get by guys fast enough to be able to try to catch Lane. But to only finish 9/10 behind him, starting 17th on that last restart, I can't be too mad about that. But yeah, I think that the points was the main goal. That's obviously why we stayed out there and took the points and didn't pit. I think that the reality of making the playoffs or chase whatever they have in this series is starting to become more and more real with each good race that I have. So, if we just keep clicking these off, I think that we're going to get there. And who knows, we could even go for the championship. So, that's what we're looking at right now. And we'll see if we can pull it off.
Reeling in every driver with race after race performance like this. Last time we went to a road course, you ended up the winner. So perhaps Sonoma is right up your alley. That's next week. What's the expectation?
I think you know what the expectation is. I don't have to say it, but it's a fun track. I love that track. It's gonna be hopefully an easy, good finish, more than anything. Whether we win or not, I look at road courses like that as easy points days. So hopefully that's what it can turn out to be, and we're not going to get wrecked, because that can also happen, and you end up very disappointed. But we'll go out there, we'll see what we can do, and hopefully we'll add another win to the win column, so we can get it done for KB.
All eyes on a 4th win for the 3-team next week. But until then, Thurston reeling in the points race with every passing podium. Any final messages you'd like to send to the fans? It's all yours.
Yeah, just thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. Kind of sad we couldn't get it done for KFB on the hood today, but we're going to keep it on the hood for at least a while. See if we can dedicate a couple wins to him. Just just gonna look forward, look ahead, and keep trying to get better and better. I think that we can do it. I think that we're in this thing.
James Thurston, 3rd in the number 3, and it's now official. The fight is on to get to the playoff picture. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thurston leads all drivers now with stage wins and is rapidly closing on the bonus point category with more than 40 already. Most drivers on the season have less than that in 14 attempts. Thurston has gotten closer and closer. DJ Stagner's in a similar position. Both he and Thurston might be late season contenders to watch out for in terms of even being eligible for the dance. But until then, Ethan Lane continues to dominate once again and holds 3 consecutive victories over the field as we head next week to sunny Sonoma, California for the Sonoma Raceway, our next road course on the schedule. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's coverage. We'll be back next Tuesday with more Integrity Racing League action, headline in California as the field goes racing again from Napa Valley. Until then, I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing the action on FTN Broadcasting. If you enjoy, leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel. Every bit of support goes the distance and then some. We thank you for every step of the way. We'll be back with live coverage of racing this Saturday night with the NSR Gen 4 Series, and of course, next week. It's next Tuesday. The Octane Series has its 15th race. Congratulations to Ethan Lane on his big win here at the Pocono Raceway, keeping the good times rolling for the 84 team. He and Thurston alongside the field will compete next week, and we hope to see you there. Thank you for tuning in. Have a fantastic night.